Good. So recording has been started. Sharing my screen now. Okay. May I ask the question to all the students out here that if you can just give me an idea about all the things we had done yesterday. Can you just give me an idea about it? What we have done till now? All of you? Meaning of income tax we have seen. Good, Mr. Divyesh. Meaning of tax as well we have seen. Good to see that. Meaning of direct tax to indirect and direct. Good. Yes. And then Mr. Divyesh, we had seen the examples, differences as well. Okay, good. Good. So people are little aware about it. Okay, so if I give you the quick overview of all the things we have done till now, you must have observed that we have sorted out the definition of direct and indirect taxes. So all the taxes which are directly levied on us through on our income or on our assets and properties are called as the direct taxes. Income tax is a direct tax. So we are going to study the direct tax now, right? Goods and service tax, which is brought up by this government since last 2 to 3 years, is also the indirect tax. And the customs duty, which is also a part of the tax, which is levied on exports and imports, is also an indirect tax because it is charged on products. Now, we have also seen the key differences between these two, right? Now, let's see that how this entire income tax is governing and is, is getting established. How the entire administration of this income tax is working, right? So, for that, we'll have to see that what is this income tax first of all. Now, this income tax was brought into existence in 1961, right? So let me change the color of my Brahmastra. It's black. It should be red. Okay, now it's red. Good. So it's 1961 year in which it was established. It became effective from 1962. 1st April 1962, the act became effective, right? Now, income tax contains various sections and schedules. Now, sections might also get changed over a period of time. Schedules might also get changed over a period of time because obviously the tax cannot be a static. I mean, the tax law cannot be fixed. हर बार कुछ ना कुछ चेंजेस आते रहते हैं तो वो चेंजेस कैसे आते रहते हैं तो उसके लिए देखते हैं. So one is the income tax, which contains the various sections, right? So what is the income tax? What are the various five heads of income? Which kind of an income gets covered? This everything is given to us by the Income Tax Act. Now, there is something called Finance Act. Now, that is brought up every year by the Finance Minister of Government of India, right? So, you would also see that this year as well in the February, there would be a Finance Act bill passed by the Finance Minister of India, who is Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman right now. तो ये जो फाइनेंस बिल होता है उसमें क्या होता है तो हर बार टैक्स के अंदर कुछ चेंजेस करने होते हैं if certain changes are required to be made in the income tax act those changes are brought up every year in the finance act. Now our parliamentarians are also regarded as the lawmakers, right? They are the lawmakers, they are the people who makes the law. Now, the unfortunate reality is that the people who are making the law for us do not have any knowledge of law. They are not even educated people as well. Supreme Court is not the someone who makes the laws. Supreme Court and administration and all such sort of a courts are the ones who are implementing the laws. All the acts, laws, जो कानून होते हैं वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का काम होता है इम्प्लीमेंट करना. बनाते कौन है? हमारे नेता बनाते हैं जो हमने एमपी वहां पे भेजे हुए हैं पार्लियामेंट में. वो हमारे कानून बनाते हैं। उनको कानून का ना तो मतलब मालूम होता है, ना तो वो एजुकेटेड होते हैं। ऐसी स्थिति है, कोई बात नहीं, जाने दो भैया, ऐसा ही है। Now those people pass that what are the things that needs to be changed, what are the new acts needs to be passed, what are the changes that needs to be carried out in the existing laws. Every such kind of a thing is happen does happen every year by the Finance Act, right? So it happens every year. This is the yearly exercise. Now there is something called income tax rules as well. Now, the authority which is responsible for the administration of this entire income tax is the Board of Direct Taxes, Central Board of Direct Taxes, also called as CBDT. So CBDT is the authority which handles the collection, which handles the administration, which gives the clarification, which gives the notifications on income tax. They are managing the entire income tax rules and regulations, right? Now, CBDT passes certain rules. Now, what is the difference between income tax rules and income tax act? Income tax act tells you that what are the incomes for on which you will have to, pay the tax, what shall be included, what shall not be included. This is all related to the taxes, the incomes, exclusions, inclusions, all such sort of things. Rules are for the administration. Administration. Now, administration will also be changed, no, over a period of time. Up to many number of years, we were not able to file our income tax online, but now we are able to file our income tax return online. So that's the rule. Now, who has passed that rule? That rule has been passed by CBDT, which is Central Board of Direct Tax. Now, it hasn't changed any rule, any provisions of the act. It is just about the administration. Like if I give you the example, if I tell you that, my dear student, you will have to give me the presentation in the class. Now that is something which is a rule, which is an act I have established. Right? So if I just make certain little changes about the rules, if I say that you will have to give the presentation for 5 minutes, for 4 minutes, you will have to give the presentation through PPT or by manually. Now these are the various minute rules. Those minute rules will be taken as the rules. They are not part of the provisions of the act. Now those are framed by the Central Board of Direct Taxes, right? Then it comes the circulars. Now what are the circulars? Circulars ये होते हैं बेटा जो clarify करते हैं. Now there are many things which are too much vague. We cannot understand fully. Sometimes the new rules gets applicable and some problems gets occurred. Specifically, if I tell you about the GST, so many people raised so many queries and doubts for so many number of years. And it got changed repetitively. Why? Because that at the time when you are framing the rules and regulations, you are passing the act, many of the things you might miss. Many of the things might remain unclear. Because see, India is a huge country. 1.5 billion people we are. So many number of industries we have, thousands number of companies we have, so many issues we have. Now some of the issues might not get covered in the act. The people who are making the act are also the normal human beings like us, right? So some clarification, if income tax department wants to give a clarification, say if there is a definition given that this is the income, but people could not understand that definition. So to make the people understand that what do we actually mean, they pass the circulars. So circulars is the elaboration of certain things which are included in the income tax. If there is a confusion query related to some of the parts of income tax, they are clarified by circulars, right? Then there are notifications. Notifications माने के those amendments which are taking place, no, those amendments will will have the notification. CBDT gives the notification for the amendment in the laws. So if certain changes are taking place in the laws, then those changes will be specified by notifications. Now, what is the difference between circular and notification then? Circular is just the clarification of doubt. It is not the amendment. While notification is the amendment. Amendment माने के changes किए हैं. तो changes किए हैं तो notification सिर्फ clarification दे रहे हो तो क्या है? Circular है. ठीक है. अब इतने ज्यादा सर्कुलर है, इतने ज्यादा नोटिफिकेशंस आते हैं, फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ चूक रह ही जाती है. And if there are certain problems which are unclear, for which we do not have the solutions in the income tax, then what will happen? People will go to the court of law. There would be some conflicts between the income tax authorities and you and we people. Income tax authorities would be telling, no, 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 Mr. Ronak, you will have to pay the tax on it. I would say, no, 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 Mr. Income Tax, I am not supposed to pay the tax on it. And if the rules are unclear about it, then we both will go to the court of law. So when court of law passes certain judgments, they become case laws. So if Supreme Court or High Court gives a certain judgment after listening to the party, they become case laws. They are called as the case laws. Now, why there would be any case laws? Because there would be a conflict. Why there would be a conflict? Because there would be uh, some problems related to the interpretation, some problems related to implementation of the income tax. Two people might have understood the income tax provisions in a different manner. That's why there is a conflict. And if there is no resolution for the conflict, then obviously they both will go to the court of law. And if the court of law passes some judgment, it becomes case laws. Right? So this everything putting together becomes the governing provisions, rules, and everything related to the income tax. Now, this everything is applicable to us. First of all, I have said is the Income Tax Act that was established in which year? 1961. Then every year, if the finance ministry wants to make some changes in the income tax, something needs to be removed, something needs to be added back, then those changes are carried by Finance Act every year. Right? जिसकी सरकार होगी वो अपने हिसाब से चेंजेस करते रहते हैं. उसके बाद में हमने क्या देखा कि सर, टू इफेक्टिवली इंप्लीमेंट द इनकम टैक्स there are certain rules required. Now, rules would be just about the administrative aspects. Rules are not about the provisions of the income tax. It is about the administrative aspects, like how to pay the tax, by what particular medium you will be paying the tax, how many number of days in which you will have to pay the tax, whether there would be any extension in for paying the tax or not, what is the medium through which you should pay the tax, whether the online uh, taxation should be accepted or not. These all are the rules. Now, rules are clarified by whom? CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Then we came to circulars. Now, circulars are which kind of a things? It gives you the clarification about the things. If some of the things are unclear, if some of the things are there for which there is a further explanation requirement, those all things are clarified by circulars. But circulars are different from notifications, because notifications are about the amendments, changes. If some changes are required to be taken place in the income tax, those will be passed by notifications. And the last one is the case laws. So if anything is unclear and it is not getting cleared by all of these means, then ultimately there would be something called case laws. Now, case laws happens gradually at all point of time. At one time, there would be 1,000 number of case laws which happens. अब ये है तो है. अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है डायरेक्ट टैक्स में बेटा? प्रॉब्लम ये है कि डायरेक्ट टैक्स में है ना, ये केस लॉज वगैरह की मगजमारी बहुत हो जाती है, क्योंकि आप एक एक इंडिविजुअल के साथ डील करना होता है. वी आर बिलियंस. अब 5-10 करोड़ 15 करोड़ लोग भी टैक्स पे करते हैं, उसमें से अगर 2% 3% लोगों को भी क्वेरीज वगैरह होती है, या तो फिर उनके ऊपर कुछ इंक्वायरीज वगैरह आती है इनकम टैक्स की, तो भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बर्डन तो देखो कितना बढ़ जाएगा। 1 करोड़ लोग आपकी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बर्डन में अगर फंसेंगे, तो आपका कितना बड़ा सिस्टम हाईजैक हो जाएगा, कितना खर्चा आपको सिर्फ वो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बर्डन को रन करने के लिए लगता है। इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में क्या होता है कि बहुत सारी चीजें सॉर्टेड आउट रहती है, कस्टमर को मालूम ही नहीं पड़ता कि उसको टैक्स दे देना पड़ता है। तो जो एडवांस्ड इकोनॉमीज रहती है वहां पे ज्यादा परसेंटेज टैक्सेशन इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस में से होता है, डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस वहां पे से थोड़े से कम होते हैं इन कंपैरिजन ऑफ टोटल inflow they take, no, as a part of the revenue, the government. Majority of the portion would be of the indirect taxes in the advanced countries, because they do not want to take this administrative burden of direct taxes, right? So these are the various things which governs the income tax requirements. Is there any doubt till now? Yes, Mr. Ankit, who actually, is it a doubt or it was something related to? Mr. Ankit said me that who actually pay the tax. Okay, that we have learned last time around. Okay, good. How to pay the tax without knowing. Absolutely correct, Mr. Deepak. We are going to learn that in this, that how to pay the tax, who is responsible to pay the tax, whether Mr. Deepak will have to pay the tax or not. That is also a question. Is everyone liable to pay the tax? Is every income is liable to be paid to be taxed? These are various questions that will be answered over a period of time. लेकिन उसके लिए हमें थोड़ी सी पेशेंस रखनी पड़ेगी, धीरे धीरे धीरे, हड़ू 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 मालूम पड़ेगा, ठीक है? Okay, let's move ahead. Let's move to this now. Now you people are right on the point. Levy of income tax. Now, when the income tax is to be paid, on what income tax is to be paid, on which income tax needs to be paid. So now we are on to the point. So income tax is levied on total income of the previous year of every person. Now mark these words carefully. These are the words which carries the detailed definitions. These are the words which carries the detailed explanations. There is a meaning of total income. There is a meaning of previous year. There is also a meaning of person. Not everyone gets included in the person. So if simply someone tells you that what is the levy of income tax, where the income tax is levied, you may just straight away say that income tax is levied on total income of the previous year of every person, right? So now let's move ahead. Let's now first we'll have to understand what is this total income, right? Now total income, everyone may put a little bit of a concentration over here, because this format you will be using everywhere in the income tax. Just giving you a bit idea about it. What is the meaning of total income? I am explaining that to you. Now these are the tax laws which have the exact and appropriate meanings. They are not roundabout explanations. Okay, so total income needs to be calculated in this manner. Everyone should pay the focus. If you want to write, you can. I think you should write it, because this format remains same. Now all the incomes of every individuals will be bifurcated into 5 heads as per the Income Tax Act. The first head is salary, right? The second head is house property. Then the third one is the profit and gains from business and profession. business and profession. The fourth head is the capital gains. And the fifth head is income from other sources. Right? So the first task of us would be, we would be making the total of these five heads of income. Now the total of these five heads of income is regarded as the gross total income. Right? Now you are not supposed to pay the income tax on the gross total income. It's on the total income. So that means there is a difference between a gross total income and total income. So what is the difference between these two now? From the gross total income, you reduce the deductions. Now, what are those deductions? We will learn it in the detail in the income tax too, but if I just give you a brief idea about it, deductions are the expenses which gets qualified, which will be reduced from your gross total income so that you will have to pay the less amount of tax. So say for example, if your gross total income comes at 8 lakhs and the deduction comes at say 1,50,000, then you won't have to pay the tax on 8 lakh. The deductions obviously would be removed, would be reduced, and then it comes the total income, which is also regarded as the not net total income too. On this amount, the person is supposed to pay the tax. Now, deductions are the expenditures which gets qualified. Sir, what kind of an expenditures gets qualified? If I give you some of the examples, if you pay the premium for the life insurance, that gets qualified as a deduction. If you are investing in some of the securities mentioned by Government of India in the income tax, you get the deduction for this. If you are investing in some of the things and you are making the payment of it, you get the deduction. So deductions are those expenses or the outlays of yours, cash outlays of yours, which you are spending, for which you get the reduction from your gross total income. You will have to pay the income tax on total income. So we have understood the meaning of total income, right? So what is the total income? Effectively, technically, if we speak, it is the gross total income minus deductions. So that is the technical definition of it. Now, what is the gross total income? It is the income from all the sources of income. All the heads of income putting together, it becomes gross total income. So that's the technical definition of GTI. It is also called as GTI. That's the acronym of it, right? Okay, now let's understand the concept of income as per the Income Tax Act. Now see, income is an inclusive definition. Some people would be like, sir, what is this inclusive definition? ये inclusive definition इसलिए है क्योंकि यह कहता है कि जितनी भी इनकम हो ना आपकी, वो सब इसमें आ जाती है. अब मैं कहीं आपको एक्सप्लेनेशन करूं, अगर मैं एक छोटा सा स्टेटमेंट बताऊं आपके क्लास में कि आपके क्लास में जिनको 90% से ऊपर है उनको असाइनमेंट देना है, जिनकी 50% से ऊपर अटेंडेंस है उनको असाइनमेंट देना है, और सभी मेल और फीमेल को असाइनमेंट देना है. तो सब आ गए ना. और मैं एक छोटा सा क्लोज वहां पे ये भी डाल दूं कि अदर्स, तो अदर्स में भी क्या हो गया कि मतलब कुछ बाकी ही नहीं रहा, तो सब आ गए. तो इनकम टैक्स की डेफिनेशन है ना, वो भी इंक्लूसिव टाइप ऑफ डेफिनेशन है. एनी काइंड ऑफ एन इनकम विच यू अर्न नो becomes a part of your income as per the Income Tax Act. Yes, there would just be a bifurcation that whether that income would be forming a part of your salary or the business profession or capital gains or income from other sources. So there is something called income from other sources given to you. Any kind of an income which is not covered in the previous four heads will be covered in the income from other sources. मतलब ये हुआ बेटा कि टैक्स तो पे करना है, मतलब करना ही है. तुम कुछ भी करो, पहले चार में बोलोगे कि नो 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 मेरा तो कोई बिजनेस नहीं है, नो 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 मेरी कोई सैलरी नहीं है, नो 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 मैंने कोई असेट भी सेल नहीं किया है, तो कौन सी इनकम करते हो? तो अदर सोर्स में आएगी। कहां से भी पैसे मिले तुम्हें, तो कहीं ना कहीं में तुम्हें इनकम टैक्स पे करनी ही है, राइट? ओके, सो generally income includes, let's understand this first of all. Previous year and assessment year will come in the next session. It will take one more session to understand what is previous year and what is assessment year. Okay, let's understand the income definition. All the profits and gains, right? If you are there in a business or a profession, you earn some profits, you earn some gains. If you have a joint venture, startup, you are there in the family business, it's an income, qualified to be an income as per the Income Tax Act. Dividend. Dividend is the amount you get on shares investments. Some people would be like, सर हमारे पास है ना शेयर है वो कंपनी के, तो उस कंपनी के शेयर है तो उसका इफेक्टिवली मतलब तो ये हुआ कि आप उस कंपनी के मालिक हो, यू आर द ओनर ऑफ दिस कंपनी. Yes, the percentage of shareholding would be different person to person. Some people might have a higher control, some people might have a lower control, but they are all are the owners. Even if you have a one share of Reliance Industries Limited, you can say that I am the owner of Reliance Industries Limited. फिर किस्से में बोले चाय पीने के भी 10 रुपए ना हो, but you are the owner of Reliance Industries Limited. If you get the dividend on your share investment, it's a part of income. Voluntary contributions received by trust and institutions. Some of the trust and institutions which are there, which receive any kind of a contribution from any individuals, that's the income of trust and institution. Now see, exact rules and regulations, exact kind of an incomes, what are the, exact inclusions and exclusions, that we'll study later on. I'm just giving you the brief idea about the concept of income, right? Obviously, all kind of a salaries which you earn from your employment is an income, but profit, any perquisite as well, if you receive, no, that is also an income. Now, sir, some people would be like, sir, what is this perquisite? Perquisite is something which you receive in a kind or some benefit you are receiving, but it is a part of your total consideration, total remuneration from the company. Say if I give you the example, if company pays you 50,000 rupees and you are supposed to find your home, then effectively your income is 50,000 only, right? But if company pays you 40,000 rupees and company tells you that we will give you the rent free accommodation, you won't have to pay the rent on it because we have established certain quarters, we have certain properties, you can stay over there. So now that is the perquisite which you have received. Say if you wouldn't be staying in that facility, in that quarter, company quarter, then obviously you will have to go somewhere else, you will have to pay 10,000 rupees of rent. So basically income tax tells you that, see, that 10,000 rupees which you will be paying, that is something which you are receiving as a part of your salary. You are receiving that home only because you are working in that company. So even though you are not receiving any income, but you are able to save your cost. And if you are able to save your cost because something has been given to you by the company, then also it is a part of your income. Now, exact calculation, I am not telling you that how that 10,000 rupees of perquisite will be calculated. But please put it in the back of your mind. That will also be taken as the income. अदरवाइज तो कोई भी छटक लेगा ना, नहीं कि बारी बारी में से निकल लेगा. हर जगह पे थोड़ी थोड़ी बारी तो रहती है, मिल ही जाएगी लोगों को लूप होल्स कुछ ना कुछ. कोई बोलेगा कि सर मैंने तो कोई सैलरी रिसीव नहीं की है, मैंने तो कार दे दी उसको. तो कार दे दी तो क्या हुआ भैया? कार नहीं दी होती तो पैसे देने पड़ते ना. तो पैसे देने पड़ते तो वो सामने वाले की इनकम रहती, तो उसको टैक्स पे करना पड़ता था. तो अब तुमने कार दे दी तो कार के ऊपर भी टैक्स पे करना है. तो कार की वैल्यू कैसे करेंगे फिर? तो वैल्यू कैसे करना वो हम परक्विजिट के वैल्यूएशन में देखेंगे. But if anything is there which you are paying or which you are receiving from your employer, because of which you are able to save up your cost, and you are receiving this only because you are employed somewhere. बाकी तो लोग ऐसे ही अपने सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे ना. आप देखोगे तो ऊपर इनकम कितनी दिख रही है, 10,000 रुपए. नीचे मालूम पड़ा कि उसको एक फ्लैट दिया है, उसको एक गाड़ी दी है, फिर उसको फॉरेन टूर के लिए पैसे दिए थे. ये सब इनकम नहीं करोगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? तो सामने वाला कोई टैक्स ही नहीं पे करेगा. तो इनकम टैक्स बोला रुको 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 भाई, रुको. आप शाणे हो तो हम 1.5 शाणे हैं. परक्विजिट है, उसके ऊपर भी टैक्स लगेगा. राइट. सो एनी स्पेशल अलाउंस और बेनिफिट यू गिव. महिंद्रा एंड महिंद्रा क्लब के लिए मेंबरशिप दे दी 75,000 रुपीज की, स्पेशल अलाउंस. टेलीफोन के लिए अलाउंस दे दिया. कोई कोई लोग तो ऐसे शाणे होते हैं, टेलीफोन्स का अलाउंस. टेलीफोन का कितना अलाउंस? 5,000 रुपए. क्या बात है, वेरी गुड. इनकम टैक्स बोलेगा इधर आ जा, वो भी इनकम है. कैपिटल गेन्स from the transfer of capital asset, we'll study that in a detail in the capital gains taxes. मतलब आपके पास कुछ assets है, बिजनेस एंड प्रोफेशन से रिलेटेड हो या ना भी हो, तो वैसे वाले assets अगर आप सेल करते हो, जो कैपिटल असेट कहलाते हैं. हर कोई असेट कैपिटल असेट नहीं कहलाता, पहले तो वो ध्यान में रखना. वो देखेंगे बाद में, डेफिनेशन आएगी तब देखेंगे. बट इफ यू ट्रांसफर द कैपिटल असेट and if some gains are there, it can be capital gains. Some people would be like, sir, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति में गया था, वहां से मेरे को 1 करोड़ का चेक मिला. तो बेटा, that is something which you have received and that's gonna be your casual income. That's gonna be your some income which you have learned from performing in the games. If you are there in a horse race और horse race में जाके gambling करके 1 लाख रुपए लेके आ गए, you will have to pay the tax on it. सर मैं तो लॉटरी खेल रहा था, लॉटरी में मेरे को 1.5 लाख रुपए मिले, you will have to pay the tax on it. Lotteries, crossword puzzles, races, games or any such sort of a things. Some people would be like, सर वो ड्रीम 11 में पैसे मिलते उसके ऊपर भी लगेगा? यस, लग सकता है, क्यों नहीं. तुम ज्यादा पैसे जीतोगे उसमें तो लगेगा टैक्स, और उसके ऊपर तो ज्यादा लगता है भैया, बहुत ज्यादा टैक्स लगता है उसके ऊपर. अच्छा, कोई कोई लोग इतने शाणे होते हैं ना, वो दे देते कि मैंने तो गिफ्ट दे दी. तो गिफ्ट दे दी तो क्या हुआ, जिसने गिफ्ट रिसीव की उसके लिए वो इनकम है, चलो टैक्स पे करो. तो वहां पे कुछ एक्सक्लूजन बताए हैं कि हाँ भाई, तुम मैरिज फंक्शंस में देते हो, इस जगह पे देते हो, तो गिफ्ट के ऊपर टैक्स नहीं लगेगा. लेकिन जनरली ऐसा ही किसी को तो फिर क्या होगा कि कोई एक दूसरे को पेमेंट करना है, तो वो बोला मैंने मैंने कुछ पेमेंट नहीं करना है, इसने तो मेरे को ऐसा ही काम दिया था, मैंने उसको गिफ्ट दे दी. गिफ्ट क्या हो गई भैया? गिफ्ट है तो सामने वाले की इनकम है. ये कोई शाणपत्ती ना करे ना, इसीलिए इनकम टैक्स वाले इधर आके बैठ गए कि रुको रुको रुको, गिफ्ट है तो उसके ऊपर भी टैक्स पे करना है. Assistance in the form of subsidy or government or cash incentive. If you receive any subsidy or grant from the government of India, from the other authorities, I am not telling you that you will have to pay the tax on the entire amount. What will be the amount? What will be the tax percentage? This everything will be discussed later on. We are just right now focusing on what are the incomes which gets covered, right? Up to what extent those income will be covered, how many exemptions you get, up to what income you won't have to pay any tax. This actual technicalities we'll learn later on. So all the incomes, और इसके भी अलावा जितनी भी इनकम आ गई, यहाँ पे इतनी सिर्फ हमें सिर्फ समझने के लिए we have taken few examples, but there could be any number of other incomes. Every income will be forming a part of either of these heads. These are the heads, broad categories of heads. We have learned it, right? 5 heads of income. And if you do the total of it, you get the gross total income. And if you reduce all the deductions which are there under section 80C to 80U, then you get the net total income, or I can say the total income. So this is the amount of total income on which you will have to pay the tax. So let's go to the definition again. So what's the levy on income tax? Income tax is levied on the total income of the previous year of every person. So we have understood this total income. Now we will understood what is the person. Some of the persons might not get included. Some of the persons might get included. What is the person? Can you call company a person? Will company will also have to pay the tax on it? If there is a trust established, then trust is also a person or not? Some people would be like, sir, Marward University, is it a person or what? Yes, it might not be a human person, but it might be artificial person, some organization. So what is the definition of person? Institutions, organizations, partnership firms, companies, they are also person. So if they are earning, those they will also have to pay. We'll see the definition of the person in detailed manner. And the income of previous year you will have to pay. Right? So what is the meaning of previous year? What is the meaning of assessment year? This everything we are going to study in the next session. So is there any query till now, any one of you? Okay, sir, what if they do Hawala? Then there will be no tax because money comes from outside the country and it's white money, not black money. So how they catch that? See, Mr. Javik, anything which you are receiving. Yes, Mr. Dilip. Dilip's doubt I'll take after some time. Let me just take the uh, Javik. Javik's doubt first of all. Javik, anything which you are receiving as a part of income, no, on which you will have to pay the tax first of all. Now that depends on your residential status. That also depends on where the income is being received and for what property and what activity the income is received. If the property is for activities which are carried out in India, then if there is any income which is related to the assets of the India, they become taxable, even though received by any other people. So we are going to see that residential status as well as uh, you know the all the kinds of an incomes. Now we are going to see that relation, and that would be the incident of tax that will be covered later on. So if someone receives some money from the foreign country, whether they would be taxable or not, but for that we'll have to first understand that money was received for what purpose. What was the reason behind the receipt of money? That money was related to what kind of an activity, whether that activity was in India or somewhere outside the India. So after taking this into account, we can answer that whether we'll have to pay the tax on it or not. And that also depends that the person who is receiving, whether he or she is the resident of India or not. If he or she will not be the resident of India, then also there would be some other provisions to it. So residential status and the reason why you are getting it, this everything putting together will be deciding that whether you will have to pay the tax on it. So that would be the incident of tax that we are going to cover in the next sessions. Is it clear, Mr. Javi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. I don't know the gender, but all the incomes which you have earned abroad, whether those are taxable or not, I cannot say all the incomes are taxable, and even I cannot say all the incomes are not taxable. That depends on situation to situation. I told you that it depends on residential status. So first we'll have to understand that what is the residential status. Even though you are the citizen of India, you might not be the resident of India. First, we'll have to establish that, and then we'll be able to answer that whether the income tax would be paid or not. Right? So that we'll see later on. Dhire dhire. Mr. Dilip, YouTubers have to pay the tax. Yes, if you are receiving some money because you are posting some videos on the YouTube, you'll have to pay the tax on it. Why not? If it is your business and profession, you are indulged. See, by being there in a YouTube, what you are doing effectively. Some people are watching your videos, they are subscribing to your channel, and after a certain extent, once the subscriber numbers reaches to levels, you get the money from YouTube, right? Now this is your profession. You have indulged yourself into this activity, and even if it is not your profession, then something income from other sources would be covered. If it is not your business, you are like, sir, मैं तो वीडियो रोज नहीं बनाता हूँ, मेरा बिजनेस नहीं है ये, मैं तो कभी कभी बनाता हूँ, तो कोई बात नहीं, तो भैया तुम इनकम फ्रॉम अदर सोर्सेज में डाल दो, पैसे तो पड़ने ही है। कौन सी भी इनकम होती है वो कहीं ना कहीं कवर हो जाती है। हाँ, इनकम टैक्स अगर बोलता है कि ये इनकम के ऊपर कितना नहीं देना, कितना देना है, if those rules are specified by the income tax ki how much pay needs to be paid, how much need not be paid, then we'll see that later on. But every income gets covered. Okay, Mr. Ankit says that what is the deduction? Deduction includes many things. Deduction includes your contribution to the provident fund. Deduction includes the premium which you are paying on the health insurance and life insurance. If you have taken the loan for the home, mortgage loan, and if you are paying the interest on that home loan, that interest is also getting covered. Even the principal amount gets covered up to certain extent. So there are many deductions. We'll see those deductions later on. कौन से deductions आते हैं वो भी देखेंगे. I am absolutely happy that you people have so many doubts about this, but we'll have to keep little bit patience, because धीरे धीरे step by step आगे बढ़ना है. डायरेक्टली सीधा 10वें माले पे नहीं पहुंच सकते, पहला माला, दूसरा माला, तीसरा माला, धीरे धीरे जाएंगे. Okay, good. Very good. I'm happy to see the curiosity from all the people out here. Any other queries now? Good. Now, what is the factor behind taxing the income from YouTube? See, anything which you are earning is an income. As simple as that. It's the tax on your income, right? Now, if income tax tells you that, okay, on this particular incomes you won't have to pay the tax, then it's a different story. But by default, all the incomes which you earn and for which income tax is not clear, you will have to pay the tax on it, whether you are earning it from YouTube or any other sources. Right? Okay. So every one of us would be putting your attendances in your Google chat box, your enrollment number as well as name and division. And once that is done, then we may disperse for the day. Bye bye. Take care. Sayonara. Enjoy your rest of the day.